Perfect. All right, hey y'all, it's Pizza Hulk. I'm here in Fallout 4 and hanging out with Trashy. She's hanging out in my base right now. I've been pretty busy getting a lot of stuff done in this world, but also not doing a lot of stuff. So, which is kind of the point of this playthrough. So I'm trying to build up some caps by doing purified water, crops, and without doing much exploring or actual gathering, use that money to buy the kind of junk and shipments I need to build my settlements and to spread out into the Commonwealth. As far as the storyline is concerned, I've done basically none of it. Um, I'll show you, and you can see most of my exploration centers in here. So all of these places I've hit for reasons, whether it was for scrap or to get a few things I needed in town, to get a trader at the Drumline Diner, right? And because I need water, I need some bases that have water. So we have Starlight, Sanctuary, and you can see I didn't encounter too much going this way. We skimmed by ArcJet. I didn't actually go in there. We made it out here to Egret Tours. Yeah, that's my other purified water base. I'll explain what that is here in a sec. And then we have Diamond City, which I had to get get a few more traders, which is pretty easy to get to from Egret Tours. You just kind of survive this road until you get here. But that's it, really. You'll see some areas on the map that are marked, like Combat Zone, Good Neighbor, Cabot House, General Atomics. Basically, some of these are marked from missions, and others are marked from either, I don't know if it was a book or a holotape. But I haven't actually visited those yet. They're not filled in like these are. So you can see. Blank on the inside, that's filled in. So haven't actually been to any of those places. So there's a good point to this. I'm going to show you just how little you need to involve yourself with the Commonwealth to get yourself into a pretty good place to do what you need to do in the Commonwealth. So this playthrough is based on making caps, like I said, and ultimately the goal is to get 10 settlements going, and in each of those settlements we're going to have 6 people.
Yes.
That are merchants. And if you have 6 merchants and 10 settlements, that's 60 merchants. And we're going to be growing our crops. We're going to be making purified water, and we're going to be making like some drugs and some different things you can make that you can sell back just by getting ingredients for. So I've done just, I've scrapped what I have in the settlements that I've captured so far, and I've looted, like I said, I've looted some of the buildings that I had to go to. I looted here strictly for scrap. I think I had a mission down here, so that's why I went to Walden Pond. Like I said, I didn't even go into ArcJet. So Concord and some of the museum got looted, and another little mission over here. So as far as missions are concerned, I've really just been doing stuff for settlers. I wanted to get Abernathy here for 2 reasons. I wanted the settlement, and I wanted to have my first trader. There's a settler here that you can trade with right from the get-go if you do them a basic favor. So nothing with the main storyline. All these others, you can take this without having to do anything for any settlers or anything. You can just kill some mole rats, ghouls. Honestly, you just gotta talk to a lady. So nothing too hard to get these and to get into a pretty good place where you can making good money, buying good gear, buying all the scrap and shipments that you need to build your bases. So that's basically what I'm doing now. I'm already at sort of that little homeostasis where I'm generating enough that, and I'm getting the type of merchants that I need to really start to fill out my roster, I guess, of people. I need to talk to Carla right here, but the other thing that I did, and I have no mods on, but I do have one thing from the Creation Club, and that's the backpack. As far as I know, the backpack doesn't really screw up anything if you have mods on or not. So that way, if I play again, you know, and I want to play with mods, I can still have the backpack if I want it or not. But you can switch the insignia, and I just switched it over to the Minutemen, and that's going to give me one more point in charisma, which is going to bring me up to 10. And I've been on a purified water run here recently. So that just entails me running to the 3 bases where I'm making excess water, like large amounts. So 2 bases I'm making 200 water for less than 10 people that are there at those bases. And then at another base in Starlight I'm making 150 for, you know, it doesn't matter how many people are there, I'm still making excess water. So just on me I've got 269 purified water, and with my charisma up to 10, yeah, I'll just show you some fancy glasses, clothes, and a hat.
Yes?
We can talk to
Hey,
Trashy.
Carla.
Hey there. Trading?
Yep.
Let's see what you got.
Always happy to make a sale.
Now the total amount for purified water says is 20, but if I want to sell it to her, before I was getting 14. And now we're getting 16. And I don't think it matters if I get 4 more points of charisma. I'm not even sure it matters if I took some, you know, whatever, the orange or blue, purple mentats. It goes any higher. I think 16 is the max. I'm pretty sure. But now I'm going to get the full amount for my purified water. That's like 4 grand. Let's see. We'll just click on it. Yeah, 4,304 caps I've got to work with. So I don't really even need to spend caps. You see I've got about 3,200. I've just bought a bunch of stores. And so I spent a good pile of the caps that I had. And then, but it doesn't really matter because I got all this purified water that I'm sitting on. And I'll show you in a little bit a bunch of crops too that I can also trade for both things that I want and for their cash. So she's sitting on 263 caps. All right, what I want from Carla today, well, there's a bunch, but where's your junk? Show me your junk, Carla. I need steel. That's nice because I mean I know it was over 1,000 caps. It was like maybe 1035 or something like that before. So I'll be saving some money too. Let me just pop over to the purified water. There you go. I got what I wanted. It didn't cost me any caps. Just a bunch of purified water. I also need, I'm pretty sure I need oil. And screws. No, I need circuitry too. This is gonna hurt. Well, she'll be here. I can see her right now. Trash can's great. Once you get established, I'm not really sure if it's a level thing or a settlement thing. Once it seems like you got a few settlements and you got a few levels, she'll start walking over to your settlement. You can catch her at Abernathy too. Which is just up the road from where we're at here. And we'll do a little bit of touring here shortly. But I definitely needed the steel. So.
Yeah?
What would we just do? Well, if I go to inventory, pop over here to junk, you can see we have a shipment of steel for 250. Now you can carry that on you and use that in other settlements when you go into build mode. But since I'm working with linked settlements, I'm just going to drop it on the ground. Nope. I remember how this game works real quick. Drop it on the ground. And let's see. So we're down to about 158 steel. Yeah, you can see my circuitry's low. I've been building machine gun turrets. Gears are low. Oil is bad. So yeah, circuitry is definitely on my list, and gear. And again, I can get that in two ways, and I'll show you that here in just a second. We'll do a little bit of that here. But we're just going to scrap this. Yoink. If you go back, you can see I now have 408 steel to work with. So you need a lot of steel. And normally you'd be out and about picking up all this stuff, exploring. But again, you can see by my map, this is a massive map with a ton of stuff on it. And we just have our little local area. Back here, and which is arguably the safest area in the map. So I'm not getting all that scrap from just hitting places and out exploring and fighting or doing, like I said, any storyline at all.
Hey, Carla.
I get it from Carla here.
Here to trade?
Yep.
I'll take a look. Sure.
You break it, you buy it.
So again, we bought the steel from her. And I can also, like I said, get the circuitry from here. And then I get concrete from here, and what else? Copper, oil, screws. All these things are important. And she's got your basic stuff too, wood. And concrete's really great to build with. It's one of the cheapest things. So, I mean, if you really don't care too much about your building, I think it's a great investment. But all it's now just even a little bit cheaper because I've hit that level 10 mark on the charisma. But she also has all this other crap, right? So if we look at this, we've got lead, we've got acid, antiseptic, and fiberglass. Now here's a good one. Never hurts to buy an alarm clock. Aluminum, glass, spring, and nuclear material. Aluminum is actually pretty important and is getting ready to be pretty important to me. This also has oil. Yeah. Cork. Now the Brahmin skulls have bone, and if you're not, again, out and about looting, where is usually you find bones or mutant camps, etc., you might want to grab some of this on occasion. Gears, I need those. And then you can even get some wood, and you just, some of it's pretty cheap, some of it's not, right? But you might be hurting for cloth, or you need a piece of fiberglass, I don't know. This one's, like I said, this is good sources of cloth. We got more steel. Where was the oil? Adhesive. And like I said, little ways to get screws and different things. We'll skip the gold ones. Oh, that's nice. They're down to 33. I think they were like $50 not too long ago. Circuitry. There we go. come on. I want all the things, always by the microscopes. Uh, Copper and steel. The copper's really nice, and you can get 5 of them. It's not too cheap. A couple steel and fiberglass. All right. Pop over to purified water. Make the trade. So now I have a whole nother set of materials, and again I didn't really pay anything for it. So let's clean her out now. There you go. We'll leave her with a few caps. I always like to leave them with a few caps, and so I got exactly what I wanted. I didn't have to spend any caps, and I still got 180 purified water, which is a total of 2,800 bucks to work with, right? So just a little under 3 grand. And if I had guns, an ammo I'm not trying to use, if I had a bunch of leather armor I wanted to get rid of, you can sell all that stuff and do the same thing. Just trade it out for whatever you want. Or use it to scroll down our caps at the end. Either way, I made money on this deal without spending any money. And I got stuff I wanted. So we'll walk away from this and we'll pop into here. Hopefully, yep. Drop all our treasures here on the ground. And scrap it all. So we're going to get all these little things. In my workbench. Now something. What are you doing, you nut? What are you doing? Some stuff has other uses. So that baseball I could turn into a baseball grenade at some point. Certain chemicals you might want to keep. Pencils, you can actually use pencils. Circuitry. But all this is going into my workbench. And the nice thing is that each settlement, you kind of got to look in the rubble pile. And you were rolling around in my stuff, you nut. That's linked. I can use the building materials from this workbench at everyone that has one of these lines. And everything that's in their workbench is linked back through each one of these. So all my food, my water is all linked. In this settlement, we make an excess of water, just like in 2 other settlements. And not just a little excess, quite a bit. So we're making 203 water for 7 people. So any kind of excess in crops or water or fertilizer, if you have a cow in your settlement, fertilizer will start to build up over time. If you have a scrapper, scrap will start to show up into your settlement. If you have merchants, caps will start to appear as well. So all that shows up in the workbenches, which means you might want to check those on a regular basis. We got this bad boy by sneaking into Concord and doing a little chicanery, and the Minutemen who, but we ended up with a fusion core and a full set of power armor and also a minigun. Now if we look at this too, so again, just with the little bit of area that I've explored and just by using the caps that I've been generating, I've been able to upgrade and level up. If we look at I was checking this out earlier today. My power armor is not only ready to go up a model, it's ready to go up multiple models. And let's see, adhesive aluminum. See again, yeah, I need to buy circuitry. I knew I needed circuitry. But I need that for turrets too. And I can go through, I was thinking about changing this to military so I could have strength. I'll probably keep the blood cleanser because that's all I can make right now. But I can go through and upgrade all of those to D. So with a power armor, I kind of stole. I got without zero commitment because again, the Minutemen, I haven't really heard of those people. And somehow I got a fusion core, a musket, and a set of power armor. But I want to spend some of these purified water in another place, and that's a base that is actually complete. Now, I did some building here. We'll go just another real quick tip here. If you look at the building size of sanctuary on the top right, you see I have a ton of room. This is a huge place. It's kind of like another place called Spectacle Island. There's just a ridiculous amount of building you could do here. But you don't really need to at all, except to build your water and some defenses and a bar, if you want to. I forgot to show off the bar. Hold up. There we go. And it's at night. I love it. Get your liquors here. You won't even... Oh, he's not on. It's too late. I put Sheffield, my ex-alcoholic, as a bartender. But you'll be surprised, there's quite a few bartenders that are actually ex-alcoholics. These tables are great for catching settlers, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not much is built here. I just blockaded off that back area. I left the door because sometimes people can't act right and somehow they end up back there anyway. I have hardly any defenses in Sanctuary because you really don't need many. Even with so there's a ratio based on your water and food. And so your defense, which is up there in the middle with the little shield, mine's at 63, should match your water and food at least. So here I should technically have 227 in defense. That's a lot of materials. But one of the nice things about Sanctuary is that it doesn't get attacked too often. And where it gets attacked from is fairly consistent and predictable. So all I did was put your second level generators in here, hooked them up to this thing, do a little bit of protection around them, and there you go. Now it would be smarter, and I should at some point individually wire whatever ones I can. I probably need to put another one of these. I don't think it's going to reach it. Ooh. Right. Just in case there's a problem. But for now the other thing I want to show here, now I'll show it at the other place. That was just for giggles. You don't really need to build much in these places. And that's another thing about this playthrough. In particular, you can get a lot of caps. If you want to spend your money on the gear and the mats to get your guns up and your armor up, and that's your thing, believe me, it takes very little to get these settlements going this way. So if you're really not into settlement building, this is probably one of the best ways to do it. Because It doesn't really take a lot of effort. So we got a bunch of guns and eventually a guard and some stuff here because guess what? Sometimes you get attacked from this way. There's a wall back there because sometimes you get attacked that way. Sometimes a bunch of feral ghouls just appear like right in here for some reason. So there'll be a turret over here eventually. And then you get attacked from the front. And what's great is you can't get up this way. And it's radiated water. And all you really got to do is have a reason that they can't get up this way, which you can see is right here. And it's some kind of murder gun. And they'll just stand on the other side of this just getting murdered. It's great. Or they can shoot the gun out, but your people can come out here and shoot. If need be. But I wanted to point out this structure. It's super important. Why? Because I needed some experience. And as I showed you, I've got so much room to build here. If you want to geek up a little bit of experience, and listen to me, there are many different ways that players who play in different ways grind experience, right? And all power to the mega player that only does it from, fighting out there, using what they find, and moving on. But a lot of people don't play that way. So if you need a place to get some experience, or just building some random crap, I'd recommend concrete. I gave myself wooden floors because concrete floors are loud. But I can put a couple guards up here. They can shoot on some of these idiots that come running up here. I have really nothing, like I said, there's no real use for this building. It's not even strategically that sound. I don't have anything that can really fire down over this wall. And I don't really want it to, so. I've already got it. And then I got a turret here. And we bought, I'm still low on circuitry, but you know what? Haha, there it is! I forgot I was trying to get to level 17. So level 17, hardly, like no storyline, hardly any exploration. Just some building. Hey. I always use some more wood, actually. Scrap in the settlements. Now, this is a ridiculous amount of scrap here. But, yeah, using purified water. Alright, we'll jog over to Red Rocket. Red Rocket has one purpose, really. And that's to be a fairly successful, well-defended farm. And that's what it is. And what it really is this right here. It's a people catcher. And this is where I catch people and send out to my other settlements in the Commonwealth. And all you really need to do is have a decently happy settlement. And let's see how happy these guys are. They're 75 and increasing, right? So you want to get it up to around 80. Once you get to about 80, you'll see people kind of start to show up a bit more often. But I've been using this base quite a bit because there's already a decent amount of happiness. Now, if you look here, I've got a total of 18 food and 20 water. So to reduce the amount of attacks on settlements, I forgot to mention that earlier, you need at least 38 in defense to match that 20 and 18. If you add those together, it's 38. You need at least 38 in defense to deter or reduce the amount of attacks on this particular settlement. Now, I don't think defense carries over into my other settlements. And yes, it's a little more here, but No. But this particular settlement gets attacked decently often anyway, and we're having some super mutant issues. So now we don't. And we only have 5 people here, and that's right now the base level of people that we have in this settlement. But what I need to do is add a 6th, and I'm going to make that person a bartender. And that bartender, even though it's not, they don't carry a lot of cash, or they're not going to bring a lot of money to me necessarily in trade, uh, they do make everybody really ridiculously happy. So one of the 6 shops in your 10 settlements should have at least one of those be a bar. Hey. But you can see we're not producing, we're producing excess water here too. It'll build up in the bench just like all the others. But we do make extra food here too. But like I said, this place just needs to be decently defended. We're good now. We only have 5 main workers here. We have 3 people who are farming and 2 guards. That's it. Anybody else that shows up here is extra, and they usually get sent somewhere else. But the next person that shows up, lucky them, is going to be a bartender for basically, because the guards never leave duty, for the 3 farmers. Any people that show up along the way. Now again, this may look interestingly complicated, or like, how did you do that, pizza? I don't understand. Building's complicated. All I did, and I might have some spare ladders here because I probably do. Yep. All I did was find a good spot. Like maybe here. I might have used 2 ladders. Let's see if we have another one. What do we got going here? Alright. Right? And you can use wood from the trees that you scrapped around to make those 2 ladders. I laid this board on the edge, stuck some stairs on it, and built everything else that was here. So we had 2 tiers, one of the big boards, one of the small, and then we just attached on 2 more boards forward and built a route for this. Built the staircase attached from here down, and then attached all these to the staircase. Stuck a door on the dang thing and put a ladder on it and got out. Stuck some walls on it. That's it. So if you're intimidated by sometimes what you think might be a difficult build, all I did was climb up on the roof, stick a board up, use the ridiculous, impossible physics of Fallout 4. And I'll do one build, probably in Zamanja, like a floating build, just to show you how silly you can get here. And how you can take some of the worst settlements, got this is here, and turn them into something of value. Yeah, let's, people will come along and play with these things. Oh, you don't have to go looking for people when it's time to come pick up a new settler to send them somewhere else. There we go. And it keeps them from hanging out and playing in the backyard. Good enough for now. But yeah, I want to get that happiness up as high as possible. As you can see, there's room for, what, 20 people to live here, which is the max on the settlement. So if I'm busy and I'm not paying attention and 7 people show up out of the blue, I got beds for them. Again, there's enough water for up to 20 settlers. There's enough food for up to 18. Happiness is great. Like I said, throw in a bar and it should be pretty fantastic. I did need to build all that. I could have shoved a whole bunch of beds all in here. Scrap this. There's plenty of room in here. But I wanted experience early in the game. I had materials from scrapping. So I built. And there you go. A settler trap. Now we're going to go to what I guess is a... This is also a settler trap. Abernathy is a mess. Abernathy has settlers there when you take the settlement. And any settlement that has settlers in it already, there's a good chance you're going to have issues with it later on. They will either take beds from other settlers if they have beds, and then they'll gravitate back and forth to those 2 beds, which will eventually take everybody off of their beds. So if you got 20 settlers in that settlement, and 3 of them are attached to the settlement when you take it over, there's a good chance that there's going to be a lot of unhappiness at your settlement, because nobody's going to be sleeping in a bed. Now, one thing you can do, and one thing I'll probably do, we'll see if it helps, is that you can put the settlement computer on, and sometimes that helps. In fact, let's run over there and do that. Right now we have mute fruit, potatoes, and corn. If you played this game, you know that it is the way to make adhesive.
Seems to be growing well.
And another way to make money, not just off of purified water, is to pick these things every time. And I say that because you should have a garden in every settlement. And you can carry this in your pocket and sell it. You can use it on other settlements to start farms there. You can toss it in the workbench. This is where I toss my extra mods. Eventually you can come back here and pick them all up and go sell them. Some of them are worth some money, some of them really aren't. But also if I'm building, and let's say there's some decent ones in here I want to use, like this 10mm hardened receiver is not too bad. I can put that on a 10mm for free when I'm working at a workbench. So this is where I toss those. Oh wait. Hold on. Drink. Excuse me, I got like a scratchiness in my throat. Hopefully that'll help. Anyway, I toss some stuff in here, and then when I want to go plant, as long as there's a provisioner linked to where I'm going, I can use those materials without having to carry them on me. And if I want to come back, I can pick it up and sell it. Alright, I'm going to see if I can talk. We'll see. Alright. Sunshine Tidings. Sunshine Tidings is a great place for a base, particularly a farm, but also a place to get set up established early as a complete base and have 6 merchants basically as quick as you can. This place and Starlight seem to be pretty good, quick places to get them set up. The nice thing about Sunshine Tidings is you have all these houses here and this building. I haven't built any of this stuff or placed any of these buildings. Like I said, there are no mods, just the backpack. And what you can do, and you can see we've got a hanger on. They will respawn stuff. Yeah. I mean, I could grab her, right? You can drag her. We'll hide her in the woods over here, in the bushes. But I guarantee you in a couple days she'll be back. Sorry about that. I need new headphones. I don't know what to tell you. So minimal defenses really, but enough, because again, we're making a lot of food here, right? We're making 48 food and 20 water. And you can see we have 18 people here now, 20 beds, but the defense is up to 75, which is above what we need for our water and food demand. The water and food demand would be 68. We're not quite 10 above it, but we're still above it. You supposedly need to have right on the money. Now, if you look at our happiness here, we're at 83, right? We're and going up. Part of that reason is because we have our security taken care of, we have our water needs, we have more than enough food, and we have several businesses that help generate happiness, including a bar. So these people have something to do after work. The food, except for the watermelons, which I picked recently, they haven't grown back yet, is another starch farm, a decently sized one, right? Lots of mute fruit, corn, potatoes, and here we're also growing some wheat or razor grain. And like I said, I picked a lot of this stuff, not all of it's come back. Oh, that's right. I'm missing one person, so it's not exactly complete. Oh no, there's somebody here. There should be, hopefully. You. Hello, you. Come here. No. Put this guy to work here in the general store. Cool. So what do we have here? We have 6 shops. Now that I have 6 shops in my base, right? Uh, I've not only got shops here that I can trade with, that I can trade purified water that I make in my own bases, that I can trade corn, watermelon, and potatoes that I make in my own bases. Even this base right here. So over time I've been gathering a few things. I've been throwing some corn in here. Now corn is a more recent acquire vegetable. I don't grow really many gourds. Oh, and here's some bottle caps. So your shops do accrue bottle caps over time, and I don't really understand it. And seriously, I really don't understand it. Sometimes you'll come here, there'll be 50 caps, and you've got like 6 stores. Sometimes you'll come back, there'll be 1,500 caps. I don't really know. But I do know that the more people that you have in the settlement, in theory, I think, the more money you're supposed to get from your stores. But you can see we've accrued quite a few melons. We got 75 melons. Now some of this stuff will build up anyway. In theory, if I'm making 40 some odd food here and I only have 18 settlers, anything above 18 should build up in this workbench. Again, I don't really understand how it works. Sometimes it'll pick something like you'll have like 70 mute fruit, but you only have like 11 tomatoes, even though you've got like 24 tomato plants. Been throwing a little raised grain. That's actually the newest crop I've started growing. I want to get down here to the potatoes. As you can see, I've been growing potatoes for quite some time. We have 223 potatoes, and they're valued at 7 apiece. I can't imagine how much 100 potatoes weighs, but we're going to grab 100 potatoes. There we go. Now, we've got a doctor, and this is a level 3 clinic. You don't need the cap collector second tier in this one. You just need the first one in medic, I think. So, pro tip there, guys. If you want the tier 3, that's the other thing. I am going to have to scrap all these and eventually put tier 3 stores in. But for now, this is more than helpful. You can see we've got the general goods store, the armor, and the clothing. I wanted these two guys together in the same base. Clinic. Pop over here inside. We got our bartender. Oh no, I shot my dog. This settlement has a dog, y'all. I met that guy. He came over to one of my settlements and check it out. Got a guard dog. Oh, that also brings happiness. Yeah, good boy. I don't even know who they were fighting. Randos? Yeah. Raider scum. Hey, man, thank you. Yeah. Move. I'll take all your stuff.
Heads up.
No, not heads up. Check out my new... If you've watched any of the other videos, you might want to know. That's right. Well, first of all, we have my crippler. I got that in the last video. We now have a 10 mil that's got a silencer, 20% chance to cripple the leg. I could make it an automatic. I'm thinking about doing that. But I need more 10 mil. And then all the goodies. Large clip, the whole 9 yards. Then we got ourselves, that's right, we hit level 15 and we moved up to the age of the combat combat rifle. I bought the best one I could get from the store. I upgraded what I could. I got my gun. This will be my gun until I go to Nuka World and get me an AK. Then we've got the more than wonderful combat shotgun, upgraded as far as I can get it right now. We're hitting for 90 damage, 59 range and accuracy. It's 55. It's just a monster, right? We got Big Jim. We upgraded Big Jim. Again, we can cripple your leg. I made some caltrops. Most of this is just to toss up to other people. We got irradiated knuckles, people, with bleed damage, by the way. Yeah. Just to be extra mean. Some guns to hand off to people. Or sell if you want. But I've been arming because this place gets attacked. Not only does it get attacked, this is one of those places where your provisioner can bring in people. Other trouble. But generally speaking, I think... Oh, my watermelons just came back. Check it out. I don't have too many problems here. But because... I guess it's sort of a higher end target just for the amount of food that it makes here. I like to have good defense. And that way when I come here, I can just do my shopping, pick my fruits, and sell what I need to. So inside, the bartender. Well, bam. Hey, miss, do you have a job? No, perfect. Last job. Every settlement needs a scrapper. And by the way, there's only one way that I assign jobs, and that's who's standing closest. Who comes first gets whatever job I need at the time. It's fantastic. You get such a varied amount of people on doing different things. It's fantastic. Anyway. So yeah, we got a bartender here. And we have a second general goods store. Now the reason we have a second general goods store, and I recommend if you want to have 3, 4, we're going to look at their inventory real quick, and it's going to kind of mimic Carla's. Not quite right now because we're a tier 2 store, but when we get up to tier 3,
I'm sure I have something to eat.
he'll basically rock it just as good as a trash can there. Anyway, we got a barter.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Here's what I've got.
And he just has junk, basically. He's got a little bit of garbage. But yeah. So again, there's my lead, there's my cork, plastic, and screws. I can get all of this from him. I don't know, I'm gonna buy that. And then any kind of the thing. Oh, now does this count? I don't think it does. It's crystal. We'll take that. Always looking for oil. You get a lot of rubber this way too. Adhesive. Everything that I want. For 87 bucks. Now remember, sometimes you might want to. Actually, that's pretty cheap. Invest more in the shipments overall than buying a bunch of crap. And some things to me will always just kind of be worth it. And some of the stuff I know is coming later game, I'm gonna need. Not so much now. Alright, so my man's got ceramic, concrete, copper, rubber, steel, and wood. And again, I'm pretty sure that when I hit that tier 3 one, he'll have screws and oil and whatever else he sells. But again, you can see we got silver, steel, aluminum. I want that circuitry. Screws, all the little things. Actually, more gears. He's over here. He's whooping my butt. He's heavy. I do apologize for all that. There's not much I can do about it right now. Alright, so we came here and we got a bunch more junk and scrap. Again, we could buy concrete from him. I use purified water made from settlements, but the other thing we've got going is if we run down to our aid, remember we got these potatoes. So we got 560 caps worth of potatoes, and now this is just potatoes I found in this workbench from this settlement. Who knows how many potatoes we actually have to sell. Alright, so 255 works for me. Bang. So hopefully the point is to see that you can take the very things from your workbench, from your crops. If you want to let a bunch sit in your workbench so you can use them for building adhesive when you want to sit down here, and let's see, this will go a good way. Vegetable starch, look, we got 83 corn, we got 120, oh my god, we got 126 meat fruit. If you look there, we got the purified water I'm carrying, which is down to like 100 and something. And my other three settlements have already built up 400, another couple hundred, 300 water that I need to pick up while I'm out spending this water. So that just lets you know the total amount of purified water I have in all my settlements, and all my workbenches, what's laying around, and on me. So minus 100, and let's just say minus 120. Alright, we're looking at 323 water out there I can just go pick up. But you can see we got 353 potatoes, counting the 60 that are on me. Just sitting around in other benches, we've got almost 300. And like I said, corn is a little bit newer addition. So is, the meat fruit and the corn, all the other vegetables other than potatoes haven't been growing for too long. But you can see we're starting to build those up as well. And the more often I grab them and throw them in a workbench, the more I'll have. And also to sell. But like I said, if I want to make adhesive, if I make this is all it costs. And you can see we got all purified water in the world, and we're growing all the other ingredients. So you'll never need adhesive, except early game. But I can make this, throw it on the ground, scrap it, and get 5 adhesive. The other thing I want to point out is...
Hey.
I can patch you up if you need it. For a small fee, of course.
So that general goods guy had like 260 something, I think. The bartenders usually have a little over $100, 118, 130.
Patch me up, Doc.
Oh no, I didn't mean to hit the button.
Today? What can you tell me?
No, then I'm fine.
No other complaints.
All right. Don't ruin my hard work by dying out
Look,
there.
I got her in the lab clear, and it's a clean one.
Hi.
Not many doctors around these days. Should let me take a look at you.
Actually, I need some supplies for the road.
All right, but go easy on the chems.
So the great thing about the doctors, you see here, she's got 613 caps, and again, this ranges somewhere between, let's say 480 and 650, something like that. I'm not really sure why, but I think eventually too you get more caps. They'll have more caps. I don't know if it's a magazine. As a way to get vendors more caps. But right now, if we want to look at her inventory, she's got some garbage that we left on her, and then we got things like this. And again, you can get these at the general goods stores too, and your bartenders. So when you're trying to set up your new settlements and you need different crops, remember you can buy them from some of these guys. But she doesn't have any thing other than that, other than the drugs. But who doesn't want someone that you can buy stim packs from right here in your own settlement? And again, I can buy those stim packs. Grab a couple. You know what's coming next, my friends. The old purified water. And of course, we can make money off of it too. And again, the doctors tier 3 tend to have a good chunk of change on them. So here's a good opportunity to add, 500, 600 caps every time I come to visit her. I don't want to spend it all there, so we got another general goods store, and so basically you understand,
Looking to buy?
I would hope. But
I'll
all
take
this
a
does
look.
is give
Sure.
me
Here's what I got.
2 opportunities to buy the basic junk here, and the basic shipments. So once again, once it's tier 3, I'll have even more. Clothing and armor. Again, when we get up to tier 3, we'll have better benefits, but for right now,
I think I've got something in your size.
Sure. Let's take a look.
I think
Let me know
clothing
what you
store
got.
is somewhere in the average of caps. Yeah, so we're right around under 500. I think the last time I heard she had quite a bit less, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the other good news, by having these people here, you can certainly pick up some things for your settlers. Now, she hasn't restocked her inventory, actually, but she has more money, which is fine. It takes a few days for them their inventory to restock. Don't worry about it. Their caps restock regularly, no issues. So nothing to worry about there. In the meantime, we got 492 caps I can sell her purified water to. And again, I just recently bought a bunch of clothes for the settlers in this settlement, and I'll show you them here shortly. Because they had crap clothing on and I need them to be a little safer here. Everybody's got a decent gun here. Most of them have automatics. They have calibrated, hardened. They have shotguns. And there's nobody even left in this settlement that has just a pipe pistol. I promise you. They can all whack you.
Hi, how are you?
And now we have our armor.
If you're looking for armor, I may have something you can use.
Like,
Let's
actually, if you
trade
look at,
some things.
I think,
Okay.
who knows what she has? Shotgun, maybe? Yeah, she's got at least a short double barrel shotgun. That's probably the lowest end gun in the settlement. But, you need people with shotguns, too.
I'm sure I've got something you need.
I didn't take her
I
stuff,
just want
did
to
I?
trade a few things.
Sure thing.
No. It made it sound like I did, though. Alright.
Need armor?
Just wanted to trade a few things.
Ah,
Sure.
pizza!
I'm sure I've got something you need.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Great.
I'm distracted. I gotta go finish dinner. Alright, so she's got 281 caps. Again, it ranges, but she's also got all kinds of armor. So again, I can come through here, take a bunch of potatoes, for instance, and purified water, and mute fruit, watermelons, etc. And I can buy some other chest pieces, some leather stuff. I can get some metal stuff, even some nicer stuff. Ooh, we got this sturdy leather stuff now. Have to check out this stuff myself. But that's right. We're gonna run over to the A. We're gonna get decked down with these potatoes. Again, we can sell potatoes, get what I want, make caps. We're over 4 grand. Hopefully this is becoming pretty evident. Now, we're going to run into an issue soon. Although I've dumped a lot of, my inventory is pretty stacked right now. But here's a full complete settlement. 6 of the stores. We've got crops growing here. I'd have crops growing here anyway, but at least I would normally have 4 farmers at least in every settlement, so I'm growing 24 food. I have a tub down in case a cow shows up. That way you start gathering fertilizer. All I did was set some walls to keep bad guys out and funnel them into guns. There's no role play. There's just sleeping bags and houses. And remember, we have a 75 defense set up for a base that only needs 68. So overall, the attacks should slow down. But everybody's beefy. These guys are actual guards. They're armored, but he doesn't have a chest
I'd like
piece.
to trade some items.
Of course.
And guess what I just bought? He's even tougher than he was. Yep, good to go. And I just want to pop into one more place real quick, and then I gotta go make dinner. I'm gonna run over to Starlight. And so again, I could build a ton more stuff there. I'd say that the build would probably is about halfway to what I could put there, right? So a lot more stuff. But occasionally you're going to run into settlements where you don't have a lot of pre-existing structures. They need some protection. And that's where we're going to go to Starlight real quick. Again, if you were here before, you'll notice a few changes. But this was basically here, and this is my basic wall. Yeah. One of the things about being here, though, is it's always under attack. But I try not to build too close to the front entrance and build back. I don't really want a bunch of guns too far forward. Because I don't want them engaging stuff I don't want them to engage in. And as you can see, they can barely shoot over these walls. But you do want to wall off your settlement. This is one of the places again. I'm making 150 water here. Which is pretty neat considering the tininess of this little pond. I'm very proud of that. As you can see, we're making 150 water. But if you look at the build size, if you look over to the right-hand screen, look at that. We are stacked, right? And I still need to get all my shops in here. But for the most part, I'm done. If you look at the food, we're up to 18. I'm not going to go above 20 settlers here. In fact, I'm not going to go above 18 settlers here, so I'm going to leave the food like that. It's just a bunch of mute fruit because I was tired of not growing carrots.
Seems to be growing well.
I threw some carrots down so I can get enough to plant 12, hopefully soon. We stuck the bartender inside with some seating. Again, this is perfect settler catchers. That's enough to hold 12. It's going to have some guards, merchants, and that's about it. And what I did was make the wall, which I'm very proud of doing, and I think I want to encourage people to do. So all the defense that I have on this side of the base is living space. This is where they all sleep. It's also a protected wall. And then not only, like I said, concrete's cheap, right? So I use some of my caps and purified water to make a bunch of oh, shoot. Really, dude? Dude!
Still in one piece.
Might need to take some of these little barricades off. You guys were great. Congratulations. All that for a bear. Idiots. I'll take this stuff though. Anyway, we have 3 shops here. I need 3 more shops. We've got the bar for happiness. Happiness should be going up, hopefully. Yep, above 80. So yeah, I need 3 more shops and a scrapper, and basically this place is done. Simple. Again, if you're really not into building, you don't need to build a building like this. I literally did this because I was bored and I needed some experience. There's no reason to do this, you know what I'm saying? But it's really just a simple building. It's a 3x5. 3 this, or 5 this way. No, 3 this way, 5 across. A bunch of walls. A couple of roofs. That's it. And you can see I just took the power. I just crammed it on top of my building. So I could simply run everything down to here to get my power going. So again, you could just leave this all exposed. You don't need to build this building at all, but just have a nice little barricade around this area, the front and the sides here. Some turrets to keep the bad guys down. And that's it. So again, if you've ever really been like, I don't know, I don't want to build, but maybe I want to make the caps thing, that looks interesting. Remember, these bases don't have to be like stuff you see, you know, people making videos on. Sometimes the videos that I make, it just has to be functional, and you can cram a lot in. Like I said, there's 20 beds in there. That's it. Well, there's 1 bed in the office up there, I think. No, I got rid of it, yeah. 20 beds in there, no problem. Alright, I gotta go. If you happen to catch this, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll be back soon. I'm gonna do. I hate this is to be continued. It's almost got what I wanted out of this video, but I'm still missing a couple of points. But anyway, if you happen to catch this, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if you see this at a later date or time, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are having a great day. Y'all be good to each other.